All right, welcome. If you're looking to get a bit of an edge on today's football, then you have definitely come to the right place. We've got a massive day of action, and in this explainer, we are going to break down the strongest betting picks based on form, stats, the whole deal. Okay, let's just dive right in.
And seriously, what a day it is. I mean, we're spanning the globe here, from the opening matches of the Africa Cup of Nations all the way to a fiery derby in the Turkish Cup and even some crucial club competition. There is just a ton of excitement on the table, so let's get you set up with some of the foundational picks.
Okay, first up, we're talking about the high-confidence bankers. You can think of these as your foundation for today's bets. These are the heavy favorites, the low-odds choices that can serve as a really solid starting point for anything you're considering. Let's see who makes the list. What's great about this list is the clear logic behind every single pick. First, you got Senegal, the tournament favorites, playing a Botswana team that has never won an AFCON match. It's a classic powerhouse versus underdog situation. Then in the AFC Champions League, Al-Ittihad desperately need the points against a Nasaf team that's been, well, pretty leaky at the back. Back in Africa, you have a motivated Nigeria, led by the amazing Victor Osimhen, and they've got an unbeaten record against Tanzania. And finally, Tunisia has a perfect head-to-head record against Uganda. They've won every single match they've ever played. As you can see, these are some really solid starting points. Okay, so picking winners is one thing, but sometimes the best bet is on the action itself. So next up, we're shifting our focus to the matches where we expect the goals to really start flying in.
So the big question is, where exactly should we be looking for all this action? Let's break down the games that are just primed for goals.
For these next three matches, the key number is 1.5. Yep, we're talking about an over 1.5 goals bet. All that means is you're betting that there will be at least 2 goals scored in the entire match. It's a great option when you're expecting some fireworks, but you aren't quite sure who's going to win. And here's where to look. First, in the Albanian League, where games involving Partizani Tirana just tend to deliver goals. It's pretty consistent. Second, you have an EFL Cup clash between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, where the Gunners' attack is probably just too powerful to contain. And third, over in Portugal, Sporting CP are on a fantastic scoring run. In all three of these fixtures, the current form is just screaming goals. But then you have a derby. And when it comes to a local rivalry, especially one as intense as an Istanbul derby, the normal rules just go right out the window. The stakes, and yeah, the goal count, tend to get a whole lot higher. And that's exactly why for the Turkish Cup clash between Fenerbahçe and Beşiktaş, we're upping the ante to over 2.5 goals. These Istanbul derbies are famously entertaining, they're passionate, and they are almost always packed with goals. So for this one, yeah, we're expecting at least 3. Now for the fun part. How do you take all these individual insights and combine them? This is where we talk about building an ACA, or an accumulator, to potentially get a much bigger payout. It's a pretty straightforward process, really. You start with your foundation, those high-confidence bankers like Senegal or Nigeria to win. Then you can add in one of the goal bets we just talked about, like the over 2.5 in that Turkish derby. When you combine these selections, the odds multiply together, creating a single bet with a much larger potential return. And the potential here is significant. As the source material points out, a well-constructed accumulator combining these favorites with a goal bet could push 5 to 8 times your stake. It's all about combining the likelihood of a few different things happening to create some really fantastic value. So, as we approach the final whistle on this explainer, let's just quickly run through the key takeaways from today's analysis. And look, this is the most important point of all. This is all based on analysis and form, but nothing in football is ever guaranteed. So please, always remember to bet responsibly and stay within your limits. So I'll leave you with this one final thought. We've talked about the favorites and the likely outcomes, but football is famous for its surprises. So looking at today's fixtures, which of these games do you think has upset written all over it? Thanks for checking this out.